Meetings, meetings, meetings. Many of the people I work with talk about an overload in meetings, being their diaries full, and importantly, always feeling like they're chasing their tail, not having time to do the follow-up. So in this video, I'm going to share with you a meeting formula that would help you improve both the quality of the meetings that you run and your own personal time management and productivity. Now, the implications of not getting on top of our meeting agenda affect us all the time because we always feel like we're chasing our tail. All the to-dos, all the actions from the meeting get squashed into around the other meetings. At the end of the day, getting in at the beginning of the day, maybe working in the evening, trying to catch up with the meetings of the day. If you find this is true, this is often because the meeting gets in our calendar and automatically we have to do it because we're present to it. And we go on automatic pilot to our calendar. But the preparation and the follow-up are on our to-do list, which we're scheduling and fitting in around all these meetings. And so unless we stand back and look, sometimes there can be a massive disconnect. And being reactive to that situation can be stressful for us as individuals and feel like we're not on top of our work. But getting it right can improve the productivity for not just you, but also the people you work with, those people who are coming to your meetings. Those people who are seen to run great meetings are seen as great leaders within the organisation, because we all know when we've seen a good one and we all know what we feel like when we've been in a bad one. Too many of us are passive to the situation, and what we need to do is use strategies to make sure that we protect our time and make it as productive as possible. Now, I was working with someone, coaching them a little while ago, and they had this exact problem. They had a massive feeling of overwhelm from all the meetings that they had and didn't feel like they were delivering well for their team. They had missed one-to-ones, which they knew wasn't good, but was feeling the pressure from all these other meetings. And when we delved down, anything in his calendar he was doing and prioritising, and anything on his to-do list was being fitted in around the edge. We talked about the meeting formula I'm going to share with you now, and interestingly, over just a really short period of time, he set himself a plan and changed both the way he was working and the meetings he was leading and those of the others by sharing the experience with them and explaining how he was working. And others learned from it and the total team productivity improved. But here's the meeting formula we talked about. So if you are chairing a meeting, you're leading it, and you are inviting people to come and spend time with you, you have to recognise that is a commitment of their time and a commitment of resource of your organisation. So you have a responsibility to make sure whatever that time is for the meeting is at its absolute best, that you do your best work together. And as a consequence, you need to think about, how do I make that work? So the formula is 1 + 1 + 1. So if you are having a 1-hour meeting, then as a minimum, you should be scheduling, and that's the important point, getting it in your diary and off your to-do list, 1 hour's worth of preparation. Now, sometimes you're going to need a lot more time than that, but as a rule of thumb, I found that it tends to work. So 1 hour preparation, a 1-hour meeting, and a 1-hour follow-up. Okay, so let's think what you would be doing at each stage. So 1-hour preparation. The key to creating a great meeting is having a really clear agenda. And what you're really doing is designing the conversation that you want everybody to have. So you need to think about, how does that conversation work? So if you are making a decision, you need to be clear right at the start. At the end of this, we will make a decision, and therefore in the meeting, we need to be ready to make that decision and think through how that's going to work. Or if you are problem solving, you need to give time to, this is the problem, what's the situation, and be able to facilitate that conversation through to understand what your course of action or choices of what you could do in that problem. You need to design that conversation. There is no point, as I have seen so many meetings, in having an agenda that never mentions that actually the reason we're here is to make a decision. Just getting that clarity amongst others already improves the quality of the meeting. So that takes time to think about. You need to schedule that time. The other thing you might do during that session is work with your stakeholders, maybe the people that are in there or people who are presenting, so that you're really on what's the input that they're bringing in order that you can have this discussion. Because the worst thing you want when you're chairing a meeting is that you've invited somebody in and they rock up and you go, how many slides have you got? And they've, oh, I've got 37. You're only here an hour. What can you share beforehand? Now, I'm going to link a video I've already done about 3 asynchronous meetings you can have. So meetings you can do where you don't all need to be in the room at the same point at the same time, but can have the same output. So sometimes you don't even need to be together. But when you are bringing people together, you need to think this way. I'll link that video, by the way, up there. Okay, so your preparation stage, therefore, is designing that conversation, producing the agenda, getting that out at least 5 days before the actual meeting, so that people, if you want people to do work, that they have time to do the work, and aligning stakeholders or people you're working with to make sure that everybody is ready to have that discussion. It's not a massive amount of time, but that 1 hour will make all the difference to the success of that 1 hour meeting. Then you have the meeting. I've already again done a video, I'll link it here, about meeting notes and the importance of already pre-allocating somebody to do that so that you as the chair can focus on facilitating the discussion. But ultimately, if you have prepared well and thought through your agenda, this should guide the actual discussion in the meeting. At the end of the meeting, you are summarising up what the actions are, somebody has written that down, and people are leaving. So what do you do in the last hour? The last hour is about driving workflow on to the next stage. The actions are out, so you may just do a quick proofread of them and then send out the link, but also aligning any stakeholders, anybody who wasn't there. You might drop them a line going, we've had this meeting, just to let you know this was what the decision was. So you are aligning your stakeholders. And again, we kind of keep those at the back of our mind or on our to-do list. And often by the time we get to doing the task, time has ticked by. So it really helps with the focus of the meeting. There you go. If you're leading a meeting, 1 + 1 + 1. But what if you are a participant in a meeting? So you don't need quite as much time, but it's exactly the same principle. You need some time. So when the agenda comes out, you need to look at that agenda and think, what have I got to do? And it might be do a pre-read, it might be go talk with your team and get some feedback on this topic so that you're ready to join in the debate from your team or department's perspective. But you need to schedule. So the formula here, I think, is 30 + 1 + 20. And I found that works about right. So 30 minutes preparation. Now, if you see on your agenda, I need to do a lot more than that, obviously schedule more, but on the whole, 30 minutes in the diary. When am I preparing for that? So you may have a set day, say on Fridays, you're working from home and you add that to your 30 minutes on that Friday. I'm going to get that pre-work done. You then go to the meeting. Your 20 minutes, I would schedule absolutely straight after the meeting. So don't go meeting, go meeting 20, meeting 20. That little buffer will allow you to go, who have I got to talk to, what have I got to do, and get your actions clear. It might be the scheduling when you're going to do more work, there will be follow-up work on this, but importantly, you schedule that time with yourself to keep on top of the actions from that meeting, as opposed to doing them ad hoc at another time in the future. So there you go, 30 + 1 + 20. When I've shared this formula with people before, what they get to as they go is, well, I can't do this because my diary's too full. I've already got too many meetings in. So it's a bit like focusing on the wrong problem. I can't fit in the actions for all the meetings I'm going to, as opposed to what are all these meetings about? Which are the priority meetings? Do I have to go to that meeting? Is that meeting high value? If you are sitting in meetings and leaving and thinking, well, that was a waste of time, you have to think about what could we do to improve this situation in our team and in our organisation. And I've seen real success in teams coming together and putting frameworks around when you have meetings, when you don't, and being really respectful so that every one of those meetings worked. It's normally an issue of prioritisation and quality. So some things don't need a meeting, and the meetings are called just as a way to talk to people rather than other ways that you may be able to achieve the same objective. So successful managers and leaders are ones that don't just focus on what we've got to do, the work, but also can organise work for productivity and effectiveness so that everybody is super clear on this is how we work here. It's a fundamental part of cascading your culture out into creating environments where that culture comes alive when we bring people together. So it is really worth, if you recognise we are not as good at meetings as possible, then talk to other people. Start to build a coalition of how can we get around and really improve this situation, because it won't just be better for you, it will be better for so many people who are silently passengers in this process and just join in. The other real benefit of this is it massively improves accountability, because the transparency that comes with this approach and being really prepared means you start to notice when people aren't delivering in meetings, and then you can pick up with them that it's the importance of accountability that everybody has in making these moments when you collaborate really work. If you've got any questions, you can put them in the comments below or reach out to me on social. This is where I am, mainly on LinkedIn and Instagram. If you found this video useful, then please like, subscribe and ring the bell, and you'll get notified of each and every video that I release. And I'd really appreciate your support in building up this community. So share it with your friends and colleagues. Have a discussion together on how could we really make our meetings be the best that they could be. Okay, until next time, take care.